Close your eyes, palms together. Seek the blessings of the Gurus and the gods and the goddess and all of your Gurus to understand very well in astrology and have the deeper understanding in every lesson. Once you feel all done, slowly open your eyes. Okay. Okay, today is again the second part of the Saturn. We are again going to see our hero only, Saturn. What is that? Anybody saying something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Today also we are going to see the Saturn. When Saturn is placed in any of the zodiac signs, what is the characteristics? And mainly, if you want to understand about the Saturn and which places, what are the characteristics, the basic about the one thing you have to remember all the time is deeper understanding about the 5 element principle. If that 5 elements is always ringing in your mind, and you understand this Agni, fire, earth, air, water principle very well, and everything will be come into place easily. Usually, if you see in the village, the peoples who are seeing the horoscope, they are come with in the genetics itself, generation by generation, they are the astrologers only, but they are mostly concentrate on the 5 element principle. That's why whatever they are saying, it becomes true. So I'm keep on emphasizing on that. Understand this 5 element principle thoroughly. So then if you this base was correct and stable, then whatever the knowledge we are adding on top of that, it will be remain for you very well. Okay, let's start with the Saturn. Okay, for the Saturn, we understand about the Saturn in the last week. Few things we are going to getting revised. One is what are the friends and the enemies for the Saturn? Who are the friends and the enemies? Saturn friend is the Mercury and the Venus. Keep that in mind all the time. Saturn friend is Mercury and the Venus. Who's neutral? Jupiter is neutral.
We can't hear you,
Finding
Anita. We lost you.
You couldn't hear me. How is it now? Everyone.
We could not hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear.
You can sign in and sign out again. Maybe the sound problem will be good. Okay. Okay. The Saturn friend is the Mercury and the Venus. Jupiter, it is the neutral one, and the enemies is whoever remaining all or enemies. How we can easily remember? Sun, Moon, and the Mars. Sun is the king, Moon is the queen, Mars is the commander. So these three peoples are the enemies to the Saturn. Then come into the nakshatra. Nakshatra, this is not the part of our first year lesson, but this is the basic, just understanding about what are the nakshatras for, who is the Lord. This is the one point only we are understanding here. We are not going deeper into the nakshatra this year. Just understand 3 nakshatra for the Saturn. One is the Pushya, Anuradha, Uttarabhadrapada. And the Dasa period is the 19 years. Now let's going into the Marana Karaka. When the Saturn was in the first house, that is the Saturn is in the Lagna, then that is the Marana Karaka. Then the word don't get carried away with the word Marana Karaka. That means you will encounter a number of obstacles, a number of struggles. That is the thing it is going to say to you. It won't give you the death, but it will give you the pain and the experience how we can suffer with the death. That means it have the more struggles and obstacles in front of you. That's it. Everybody was having that, and you also having that. Okay, don't get carried away with the Lagna, which is in the Saturn, because some of the people who have the Lagna in the first house, they have many obstacles in their life. They have the struggles in their life. But where if the Lagna was in this, Saturn was in the Lagna, the struggle and obstacles will be there, but we also have the ability to overcome that. So don't get carried away with this one word, Maranakaraka. Then come into the combustion, 0 to 15 degree. When the Saturn was near to the sun within the degrees of the 0 to 15 degree, then the Saturn become combusted. That is a super good for everybody. Then come into the Bhatakasthana. Okay, now Bhatakasthana, we already know about how we have to derive this Bhatakasthana. Chararasi, 11th house, Thirarasi, 9th house, and Upayarasi, it is the 7th house. But for the Saturn, owns 2 houses, right? What are that? Saturn owns 2 houses, right? What are they?
Makara Kumbha.
Makara and Kumbha.
Makara, Kumbha. Okay.
Makara and Kumbha.
Makara and Kumbha, right? For that Makara and the Kumbha, the 11th and the 9th, which house will come? If the Mesha is the Lagna, then the 11th house Kumbha. 11th, Mesha is the Chararasi, so 11th house is the Kumbha. And the Rishaba is the Tirarasi, 9th house is the Makara. So for that, Saturn is the, this is the Bhatakastan, but why we are mentioning the Saturn here? The Lord of the house is the Saturn, right? So this one you have to remember. Whenever the Mesha Lagna people's, whenever you are seeing the Mesha Lagna chart and the Rishaba Lagna chart, then obviously you know who's the Lord of the Bhatakastan. Then comes into the Yoga Karaka. This and all we learned already itself, but for this Graha, we are getting a revise one more time. Yoga Karaka, we already know if the Graha was in the Trikona as well as in Lord of the Lord of the house, that means the owner of the house, which is also in the Trikona, also in the Kendra, that is the Yoga Karaka. For the Saturn, if the Rishabha Lagna people, Saturn is in the 9th house and then the 10th house. Okay, that means the 9th is the 159 is the Trikona, 14710 is the Kendra. So 9th house Makara satisfy the condition, 10th house Kumbha satisfy the condition. That means the Lord which is present in the Trikona as well as in the Kendra. So for the Rishabha Lagna people, Saturn Graha becomes the Yoga Karaka because of this reason one. For the Tula Lagna people, Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka. How? Fifth becomes, fifth house is the Kumbha, fourth house is the Makara. So fourth is in the Kendra, fifth is in the Trikona. So that's why the Tula Lagna people, Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka. Remember this point. Saturn is not good to everybody. Saturn is not bad to everybody. For the Rishabha Lagna peoples, Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka also. Tula Lagna people, Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka also. And here comes an interesting point. The one thing I highlighted here, for the Rishabha Lagna peoples, the Bhatakasthana is the 9th house, Makara. Same time, for the Rishabha Lagna peoples, because of the reason 9th house in the Makara, which is in the Trikona, 10th house in the Kumbha, that Graha becomes the Yoga Karaka. So here what we are trying to derive here is, even though it will give you the negative results because of the Bhatakasthana, but if it was present in the, it satisfies the condition of the Yoga Karaka, that will give you the benefit too. That will give whatever the negative which is going to give, it becomes the positive for you. But it won't be the tremendous positive, but it will be balanced. Okay. Until this, you're clear, I guess. I'm moving on. Now comes into the first Rasi. In the zodiac sign, which one is the first Rasi? Mesha Rasi is the first Rasi. So first, before we entering into that, we have to know about the 5 element principle. First thing. Mesha Rasi, Agni is the fire element. Agni Tattva, in the entire Mesha Rasi is based on the fire element. That if that is the basis, then you understand everything. Also, it is the Shara Rasi. That means it's a movable in nature. Movable in nature means these people considered if they get angry also, they will move from that emotion to move away from that emotion very easily. Then it is a male energy. We know that Mesha Rasi is the male energy. Who's the owner? Mars is the owner. Here the twist. Consider Saturn is in the Mesha Rasi. Okay. Who's the owner? Mars is the owner. Mars is the friend or the enemy to Saturn?
Friend.
Mars is the friend. Think again.
Oh.
Saturn. To the Saturn.
Enemy.
Enemy.
Sun, Mars, and Moon are enemies.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
Sun,
enemy.
Moon. Remember this one point. King, Queen, Commander in Chief. Enemy to Saturn. Jupiter is neutral. Remaining two peoples who are Mercury and the Venus. They are friends. Okay. So the Mars is the enemy to Saturn. So that means if the Saturn is in the Mesha Rasi, simply we can say Saturn is residing in the enemy's house. So if the Saturn is residing in the enemy's house means obviously he don't want to do anything because he already controlled his energy. Okay. Then who is exalted here? Sun is exalted here. And Sun is again one more enemy to Saturn. And the deplete, and interestingly, here in Mesh Rasi, Saturn is depleted. So what does that means? The entire Saturn energy is suffocating here. If the peoples who are having the Saturn in the Mesh Rasi, they won't get the enough Saturn's energy in their life. Okay, then come in to see what will happen. If you don't have an sufficient Saturn's energy, consider you are going to do very hard work in your life. You may struggle to find a job. You will struggle in your business. You will do whatever you want. But even though if you are struggling and you are putting your hard work on it, you won't get the benefit. The struggle will be higher than whatever you are going to get as a reward. So that's why the hard work and the struggle will be there, but you won't get that much benefit. And comes into the low productivity, because if the low productivity means you and the individual was not having the sufficient Saturn's energy. Usually, what is the quality of the Saturn? The Saturn becomes very disciplined in nature. He's the hard worker, and his character is like as a judge. He's very disciplined in nature. But if that was imagine a person, you remove the discipline from him, you remove the hard work from him, you remove all kind of the qualities of the Saturn. Consider this, but this person is getting into in his or her life. Okay, what will happen? The productivity may not be there. Why? They think, okay, I will do, but they won't do anything. Even though they are trying to put their hard work, they struggle and find a way to do something, there won't be any productivity. Okay. Because of this, Saturn's energy is slow and steady. But even though Saturn's energy is slow and steady, but it will give you the good benefit out of it. But when the Saturn's energy is completely depleted, you will be slow also. You definitely will be slow. And the steadiness will come because you are already slow, right? That's why the steadiness is also come. But it's not in a good way. It is in a that is not necessary for you. That slow and steadiness is not necessary for your life. And comes into when the Saturn is in a Mesha Rasi, definitely they have the competitors because you are sitting in an enemy's house. And why the weak muscles comes into the picture? Because you remember the last class we learned about the muscles is also a significance of the Saturn's energy. Consider you won't have the sufficient Saturn energy in your body. What will happen? The muscles becomes weak. That's why you also feel like you may not able to work fast. This is an interesting point here. See, this Mesh Rasi is the fire energy. Usually, the Mesh Rasi is the Mesh Rasi peoples will fiery in nature. They want to do anything fast. They want to do everything in a fast way. Imagine in that kind of the situation, Saturn was placed in it. That too depleted. That means the complete speed was reduced. There was no speed in it. They become already slow. And why? How come it becomes slow? because of nature of your body, the inbuilt nature, the manufacturing of your body becomes having a weak muscles. When you are born itself, the muscle becomes weak. Okay, for them, whatever they are doing, it won't be easy because your body is not even also cooperating with you. Whatever you want to do, it won't cooperate with you. Okay, considered this person was trying to shortcut in their lives and want to achieve anything. It won't work for them. If they take any shortcut, a number of slashes will become to them. That definitely they should not take any kind of shortcuts. And these people are really self-made person. Why? Because this is the fire. The Saturn is in the fire element, and even though the energy was completely depleted, these peoples want to come over. Okay, this is the even though the Saturn's energy was depleted, it was in the fire element. So these peoples have the willpower, it won't be less. They have the willpower to come over of it. Whatever comes in my life, okay, I can manage and I pull myself out from this any kind of the tragedy. So this kind of the attitude will be there. Okay, whatever they are going to get, whatever the comforts, whatever the luxury, if they are having in their life, definitely they will obtain that by having a lots and lots of struggles. Okay, and before I'm moving forward, if anybody was having a Saturn in Mesha, no, no one. That's awesome. Okay, if there was two more points I want to add here. Consider Saturn as in a general way we are seeing. Suppose in case if your Saturn is in Mesha Rasi, the Saturn was there. Consider it as the Lagna for you. Okay, then all the characters becomes you. Whatever they're seeing, the things which we are in this list, this becomes you. Okay. Why? The Lagna is the representation of the oneself. So whatever the characters here comes, they become slow in nature. They have, remember this one, this is not applicable to all the places. Suppose in case if the Saturn was placed in the second house, that becomes the Mesha Rasi. What does that mean? Meena becomes my Lagna, then the Mesha becomes my second house. But considered my Saturn was there. Then what will happen? Obtaining money and income will be the biggest struggle in your life. Okay, consider moving on. Third house. Third house, if the Saturn was in the Mesha Rasi, that becomes your third house. What does that mean? Kumbha is my Lagna, and the third house is the Mesha, and there Saturn was placed in it. Then what will happen? Whatever the communications you are doing, your communication will be very slow, and you may not be able to communicate what you want to do. If you are trying to speak also, you feel like it was the very, very hardest thing in your life. That is a great achievement in your life. That was in the third house. The fourth house, the story goes on. It was the same like this: fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh house, till the 12th house. You are able to understand this point, right? Anybody was confused at this point?
Mm.
All clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to repeat the same thing again. So suppose if you want to repeat also, I will tell you. But I just keep moving forward with another one. But this is the technique. If the Saturn was placed in the Lagna, Saturn was placed in the second house, third house, the Mesha is becomes your second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, till the 12th house. The result will be the same. But how you have to going to apply with this? The relevant house behavior. First house for you, second house for your money, third house for your communication, fourth house for your motherland, and fifth house for your son and father, sixth house for your disease enemies, seventh house for your spouse, eighth house for your, what is that? I forgot. 8th house for what?
Longevity.
What is it?
Longevity for 8th
Longevity.
house.
Okay. 9th house for your fortune, 10th house for your dharma, 11th house for your any kind of the fulfillment, and the 12th house for your expense. Okay. If you apply all this thing, all the houses, if the Mesha was becomes your first house, second house, third house, and the Saturn was placed in it, then combine this knowledge and you will derive one answer. Okay. Okay, then you will ask me, but this is the only thing? No. Then what you have to add? Consider the Saturn was here. And imagine this is your Lagna. Okay. Then this point, okay, this is the Lagna. And consider here the Jupiter was here. What will happen? The Saturn, wherever it sits, it gives you the gold. But now the thing was changed. Why? Because it was sitting in the depleted zodiac sign. The energy will be completely depleted, but that becomes your Lagna, that becomes you. So that means you don't have the Saturn's energy sufficient in your any kind of your energy body. Okay. But same time, the Jupiter was aspecting aspecting the Jataka. That means the self, the Lagna itself. Then the story becomes different. Whatever here comes, it turns into a luck. Okay, suppose if he may get the comfort and luxury without a struggle also, he may get the strong muscles. Then you may ask, Vanita, I have a Lagna that is in the Mesha Rasi and the Saturn was placed in it. I don't have any of the quality. Okay, then there is an additional story behind it. What is the remaining story? The remaining story, who is aspecting you? If the Jupiter was aspecting you, if the Venus was aspecting you, or any of the malefic planets was aspecting, consider here the retrograde Saturn. Sorry. Considering here it was Rahu was in it. Then the Rahu was aspecting this Saturn. If any of the malefic planets was aspecting the same thing, then the trouble becomes more and more. The negativity was increased more and more. Here, whenever I say negativity and positivity, don't directly translate that into the good or bad. Whatever I'm saying, it depends on the energy level only. Then the energy level is not negativity. What I'm saying, if there was a negative energy, means that energy is not necessary in your life. Whatever the life which we are going to live, that energy is not suitable for that. That is the why that's the way I'm mentioning it is the negative energy. The positive energy is a thing that is needed for you, that is necessary for you in your life. Okay, this is the story. Okay, then one last thing here. For the Mesha Lagna, we remember the first slide we learn about Mesha Lagna. Mesha is the Chararasi, and who's the which one is the Bhatakasthana? 11th house is the Bhatakasthana. And who's becomes here? 11th house. Consider the Saturn is in the Saturn is okay. Now come to one more scenario here. Consider this is your Lagna. And in your Lagna, this is an interesting thing. In your Mesha is your Lagna. Saturn was placed in it for the Mesha Rasi, that is the Chara Rasi. The 11th house becomes the Patakasthana. But the owner was placed in the Lagna. Okay, now there is the answer for me. What will happen?
Padaka's owner is also Shani, right?
Mesha, okay, I repeat this question again. Mesha Lagna, okay? Saturn was placed in it. And for the Mesha Lagna people, 11th house is the Bhatakasthana. Bhatakasthana is the Kumbha Rasi. The owner was placed in the Lagna itself. Now what will happen?
Activity is higher.
Padaka will be reduced.
Why? Why Badaka is reduced?
I mean, it will have no effect because Shani is already in Mesha and Badaka is also Shani.
Hmm.
Double negative.
What
So double negative, will it increase or will it stay as
will
it is?
increase?
It will increase. Oh my God.
There was no positivity here, right?
Mm.
The Bhatakasthana owner was itself become a Lagna. The Lagna, whose Lagna? You. The Jataka becomes the self.
Mm.
What will happen? Whatever the characters which we mentioned here, it's exactly reflecting the engagement. Definitely, they will face too many struggles in whatever they want to do. If they want to study, they will face a struggle. If they want to transfer from one university to another, definitely they will face a struggle. Okay, they go on to study. And abroad study, they can't even imagine. Even if they try to study in an abroad, they will face number of challenges. Okay, now comes into the work. They work very really hard, but they earn a very little.
Vanita,
Then
which is Badakistan here? Which is
okay,
Badakistan here?
11th
the
house.
Kumbha.
Always 11th house it is, or one earlier.
No, for the
Oh, for
Chararasi,
Mesha Rashi is
all
11th
the
house.
for the Chararasi, 11th house.
Yeah.
For Sthira Rasi, 9th. For
Ninth.
Upaya Rasi, it is the 7th.
7th.
You remember that one, right? Charasthira Upaya, Charasthira Upaya, Charasthira Upaya, Charasthira Upaya. Want me to repeat that?
No, I
No.
think that is clear.
No, but on the same question, the Rishaba Lagna, if
Hmm.
the Saturn, so what will happen? For
Now we
Rishaba
are going to
Lagna, it
see
will
that.
be 9th house.
We will see that. We will see that
That is the
next.
next slide, right?
Yeah.
Saturn
Okay.
in Rishaba.
Yeah. Give me 1 minute. Okay.
No,
This much clear.
no. Same thing. No. I'm talking about
Hmm.
if the Lagna is Rishaba, and
Oh,
then
Lagna.
Yeah.
Okay, the story then the story was entirely different, right?
yeah, because
Consider.
the Badaka was in the 9th, and this is Makara Rashi. So
Hmm.
what will happen?
Okay, here. Now here is the Lagna. This is an interesting one. Now the
Yeah.
Rishaba Lagna. Okay. Now for the Rishaba Lagna, 9th house, which one it is? This one, correct?
Yeah, correct.
That is also Shani.
That is also Sunny. Okay, here is interesting. Okay, this is your first house, and this becomes your 12th house. And 10, 11, this is 9th. Okay. So the Rishaba Lagna for the it was in the Trikona. Okay, who's the owner of the Trikona? Saturn is the owner of the Trikona, and he's also the Bhatakasthana. Then at this moment, and he was in the 12th house. This is the positive one. Why? Lagna and the 9th house is the Vatakasthana Saturn
It's also
owner,
Yoga Karaka, 10th house owner also. So it's
Yoga Karaka, but he was in the 12th house. That is the hidden place of this Jataka. That is in the Mesha. 12th house becomes the hidden house, right?
Yeah.
Even though the 9th house, that is the owner of the, we have to see who the planet was in it also. But consider at this moment, there was no planet in it. Okay. So the 9th house, there was no planet. The owner is the Saturn which is in the 12th house. He is in the Trikona. Because of that becomes the Yoga Karaka. But then it's a Bhatakasthana also. But that the owner was himself present in the 12th house. So whatever the negativity which the Saturn is going to imply on the Jataka will be tremendously reduced. This one was the good example. But still we have to see what are the other grahas aspecting the Saturn and what are the other planets aspecting. Yeah, if that one was, if we saw that, then everything will be in a good place. Is that okay?
Yeah, my daughter has this, but she has in Meena. So the Saturn is in Meena. So I just want to.
Saturn is in, okay, wait
Yeah,
a second.
we will wait for that. I'll wait for that.
Okay, yeah.
Vanita,
Hmm.
Vanita,
Uh,
what? Hello?
Go
Hello?
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Just I want a blunt question. Suppose Yes, Saturn is in is out of 12 planets, 12 grahas are there. Which
Hmm.
is the thumb rule is there to say that it's such a such if the particular Saturn is in particular planet, particular house, it is good or bad like that.
Okay. One basic thumb rule. Okay.
Ah, ah,
None of the graha is the good, none of the graha is the bad. Okay. Keep
ah,
that always in the mind. Because if you fix one graha is a good or fix one graha is the bad, then your horizon won't be extended. It will be stay at that point only. Because for the sun, most of the time, the Saturn, the people will emphasize like Saturn is the bad planet, but the Saturn is the very good planet for the Rishaba peoples.
oh,
Saturn is a very good planet for the Tula peoples. Okay.
oh,
So
okay,
is that mean for all the Rishaba, the Saturn is the very good? No, we have to consider where the Saturn was placed, where it was respecting, where is your Yoga
okay.
Karaka, where is your Bhatakasthana, which house
Oh,
the Saturn was placed in it. Everything we have to consider. So that's why there was no one single answer. Okay,
okay,
this is the Saturn for this zodiac sign, this is the good, this zodiac sign, this is bad. We can
okay,
say, but still that is comes with the asterisk point you have to consider.
okay.
Hmm?
Thank you. Thanks.
That's it. You can move on.
Okay, thank
Vanita ma'am, I think you were asking anybody's having Saturn in Aries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Earlier. My wife's has Saturn in Aries.
Okay. How big house it is?
It's
I mean, what is your lagna for her?
Makara.
Makara lagna. Okay.
No.
And
Tula Lagna.
Saturn, Tula lagna or Makara lagna?
No, Tula
Confirm.
Lagna. Tula Lagna. Sorry.
Tula lagna. Okay. Tula lagna. And the Saturn was in oh, Saturn was in the Mesha, right?
That's what is. So seventh house. So seventh house is not so powerful.
How is your relationship with her? I should not bluntly ask that question. Satish?
Yeah. We
How
keep
is
fighting a lot,
definitely you will. Okay.
and she's got very always her muscles are weak,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
definitely.
hmm,
But when she thinks of any doing a job, you can't.
hmm.
She keeps doing it without even like not even a second look at all. She's very focused.
Is
How is whatever she was doing? What is the outcome of it? It will be good, or it will okay. It
Yeah,
will take.
mostly it is good.
Hmm. And other than that,
Other than that, she's a little slow.
hmm,
No active. Uh, not not very active rather.
hmm, 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 hmm. She have any belief in the terms of chanting or going to temple?
Oh yes, very much religious, devotional.
That's awesome then. So if that's the case, ask her to any kind of the Sanishwara temple, but it should not be in the home. Better to do that in the temple.
Temple, yeah. Hmm.
Uh, you know about the sesame lamp,
Yes,
sesame
yes, yes.
lamp.
Yellow, yeah, yellow.
You can do that, right? Yellow
Yeah.
or pepper, melag velaka also you can do, but the
Hmm.
best thing is the pepper.
Pepper up.
Particularly on the Saturday in the evening time is the best one.
Hmm.
Ask her to go to as her own ritual, right? Go to any of the Sanishwar will be there definitely. Mostly it was in the Navagraha nowadays. There was
Hmm.
no
No.
separate.
I stay in Bangalore, so there's a separate Shanishwara temple also is there.
Oh, then awesome. Then let her ask her to go if she's interested.
Hmm.
Particularly ask her to lit the lamp. That will
Hmm.
as the intention here is only one thing. It was
Hmm.
not the remedy kind of the stuff. It was the thing we are combining the energy with the nature.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to light the sesame lamp, the energy which is come out of it, it gives a Saturn's energy. So once
Okay.
you give something to the universe, definitely it will come back to you.
Okay.
If this Saturn's energy was not sufficient in you, but you are giving it to the universe, then definitely it will come one way or the other too. Ask her to eat the sesame, particularly black sesame, not the white one, black sesame seed. And how is her? Okay, ask her to eat this one. Then,
But it's Yoga Karaka also for Tula Lagna, right?
yeah, Yoga Karaka, but the
So doesn't it have any positive effect because of that?
But we have to see her chart fully.
Yeah.
But at this moment, it won't look good for me. Maybe we have to see her full chart.
Okay.
But for this reason, if this point was matching with her, then the sesame, eating the sesame is the best thing for her.
Okay. Okay. And going to temple on Saturday evenings.
But if she didn't like it, don't force her. It's up to her, to the individual.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then we'll move on.
Yeah. Thanks, ma'am.
You can call me Vanita. Somebody was calling me, ma'am, I'm feeling like old.
No, okay, Vanita. Okay.
Okay, now getting into the Rishaba is an interesting. Okay, when first we understand the 5 element principle, then we coming into the characteristic significance of the Saturn. Okay, first thing, Rishaba becomes the earth element. So these peoples are steady in nature. Rishaba peoples was very much steady in nature. When I say Rishaba peoples, Rishaba Lagna, okay, or Rishaba Rashi. When I say this, the Rishaba Lagna or Kumbha Lagna peoples means mentioning about the Lagna or the Rashi. Okay, what is the difference? The Lagna is the you. And the Rashi, when we say you are the Rishabha Rasi, when we say Tula Rasi, when you say Kumbha Rasi, when you say that, if the moon was present in that particular zodiac sign, that becomes your Rashi, right? So most of the time, you will be defined by your Lagna or by your moon. Why? Because the moon representing your mind. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing in, whatever you're thinking, everything based on your mind. So the moon becomes your representation of your mind. So that's why when I say the Rishaba peoples or Kumbha peoples, I'm representing the Lagna or the Rashi. Okay. Now let's see. The earth element. These peoples are very much steady in nature. Once they've decided, that's it. They won't be moved from that point. But because of the Sthira Rasi, they are fixed in nature. They are as well as the fixed in nature. They are sometimes they look like an adamant. They look like a dominant person. Okay. But because of the female energy, this dominance and this kind of um arrogant also will be little bit reduced. It becomes a soft in nature. They do the adamant, but you feel like they were very soft adamant peoples. Okay. And the Venus. Okay, now comes the interesting point. Saturn and the Venus. Venus is the owner of the Rishaba. And the Saturn and the Venus relationship. Friend or enemy? Friend, right? So here the Saturn was sitting in the friend's house. Okay, feels peaceful only. And exaltation is the moon. There was no depleted planet here. Okay, now comes into the story of the Saturn. When the Saturn was in the Rishaba, these peoples are overly cautious with the money matters. Rishaba, when the Rishaba Rasi, the Saturn was in it, then this is the one point definitely it will match with all the 1 to 12 houses, it will match if the Saturn was placed in the Rishaba. They're cautious about everything, even when you're spending, even when they are giving the money to others, or somebody was giving the money to them, they're overly cautious in their money matters. They don't spend anything without their knowing. They're definitely very much cautious in the money matters. And these peoples, they are not okay. Usually when the Venus and the Rishaba combination will think everybody and they will do everything exaggerated. The Venus was joyful in nature. Venus is the art and culture minister. Okay, he wants to spend the money in such a way that everything will be spent on the arts and the culture. But if the Saturn was placed in it, yeah, the Venus energy was suppressed. He, when the Saturn energy was placed in it, he will think, okay, this will not needed in my life. This won't be no need in my life. Only he will only spend what he or she needs only. If there was nothing they don't want, this is then. But Venus always think in such a way that okay, this one I need because this is not necessary for me, but this is luxury for me. But the Saturn doesn't think that way. Saturn only thinks, okay, this is the need at this moment I need in my life. Is it necessary for me? Then only it will grab that thing. But if the Saturn was living in the Rishaba, residing in the Rishaba, and this nature will be naturally acquired by the individual. They will only spend what they actually need. But the nature of the Venus was totally different. When the people will think, okay, the Venus house, Saturn was placed in it, he is going to spend the money just like that. No. When the Saturn energy was combined here, your nature will be become different. Then the Venus nature was like this. Okay, I'm going to enjoy my life, and he lives like this is my last day in this planet. But Saturn is not like that. He or she is very much disciplined, very much patient. Whatever they want to do their work, they do at their fullest. If there was any rules was written 1 to 10, they will follow 1 to 10 dot to dot. They won't miss even a comma. They will follow just like that. But Venus, it was not like that. Why I'm comparing Venus again to the Saturn? Because Saturn was sitting in the Venus house. But when the Saturn was sitting in the Venus house, this nature become changed. They disciplined and they are very much patient. Definitely they'll work hard for the success. Why this work hard for the success will come? The inbuilt nature of the discipline and the patient was comes into one individual, then the hard work comes as a side effect. Then that leads to the success. Okay, this point is very much interesting. The Venus peoples are in such a way that they always think they want to enjoy their life. They feel like okay, you want to dance, you want to jump around the world, wander around the world. This is the life. But when the Saturn was placed in the Rishaba, they detached from anything. They did not even think about any kind of the pleasure. They always detach with everything. They know how to segregate also. Okay, this is the pleasure in my life, and this is the thing which I want to do necessary in my life. And even though in number of the worldly materials which is in front of them, they know how to detach and how to pursue also. Okay. And because of the money mindedness, because of the cleverness of how they have to handle the money, and how because of their hard work, they are very much suited for the business. If you have the Saturn which is residing in the Rishaba, they have their potential. Even though they are not going for their work, even though they are simply sitting and watching their home also, they have this ability. It's an inborn nature for them. They know how to handle the money, even though there are a number of the peoples around them. The money handled by them was entirely different. Okay. Now, before I want to move on, anybody having the Saturn in the Rishaba?
I think there was a lady.
Hmm.
I don't know if she's still continuing in the class. One time she said, I think I had guessed her age based on the placement of Saturn. It was in Rishaba.
Oh,
She's
That
50
is
years old.
Ruparangan.
74 born.
what is it?
1974 born, that lady.
1974. Neelam, you're saying? I guess Neelam. Let me see.
Yes, Neelam. She's not here today.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let me see. Somebody was saying
So
Neelam
I
was.
have a very good memory, you see.
Yeah. Then you have the Mercury was well placed.
Now we just discussed, Saravanan was teaching that day.
I see.
I think it was sun in
Cancer.
Kataka, Cancer. Yeah.
Sun in Cancer.
No, we both have Sun and Mercury in Cancer.
Yeah.
Ah, Mercury in Cancer.
And also sun. Yeah. So that's why we got, I think, memory is good.
I don't have. Oh my God, I overwritten Neelam's chart. Okay.
Anyway, I just remembered that it was one person. I don't know if she's still in the class.
Anybody knows Neelam's full date of birth? I don't know.
Actually, she's my friend, Vanita. I introduced her. I have
Ah,
her chart. I'll have to log on to my WhatsApp so I can go there and come back. I'll need few minutes.
okay.
Should I send you her chart?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I can send it on the WhatsApp group. Is that how I should do it? I don't know
Yeah.
how to share it. Okay, I'll just do it. I'll be back.
Or else you can just give me the date of birth, whichever is easy for you.
Okay, I'll just be back.
Vanita, this is Rupa.
Yeah.
Mine is Shani is in Rishaba Rashi. Rishaba.
Okay, then you're the good person. Okay, tell me your date of birth. Give me a second. Okay, we found one person. Okay. Okay, I stopped sharing this. Let's switch to Jagnathura.
28/12.
20 December 28.
28/12. 10:51 time.
December only, right?
Yeah.
Year
Year 72.
1972.
Yeah.
Time
10:51 morning.
morning 12051. PM, place
Yes.
place of birth.
Bangalore. Please send me this chart to WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. Oh,
No, spelling mistake.
really? It's not. Still, they have to spend Bangalore.
Bengaluru. Bangalore.
NG.
Now, for this
Yeah.
software, you can just type Bangalore and type rest
Did
of the
that.
world.
Okay, I did. Oh, it's coming now. First I did. Oh, give it a second. Okay, this is correct, right? December 28, 1972, 10:51 a.m.
Kumbha Lagna.
Kumbha Lagna, and this one is correct. Kanni Rasi.
Yeah, Kanya Rashi. Asta Nakshatra Kanya Rashi.
Wow, this is wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4. How is your relation with your mother?
She is no more.
Okay. Before that?
Nice.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Give me 1 second.
डॉक्टर बोलता है मेले में अकेला चाट.
What is it?
मेले में अकेला चाट.
What is that? Akela chart means?
मेले में अकेला. That means
That means even if she's in a crowd, she will feel lonely.
lonely.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
what he does is, if Moon is not surrounded by any planet, then he has coined a term called Mele Me Akele.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Awesome.
Please send me this chart pura to my WhatsApp number.
The chart?
This one. Your
Oh. Okay, I can. It's in the batch. I don't have your number, I guess.
Yeah,
I sent
Rashi
it in.
you're
Rashi
having.
Adipati is looking at Saturn. So Venus is looking at Saturn.
Yeah, Venus was looking. And how about your land? Did you buy any of owner of the land?
Hi.
Hmm.
No, I don't have any land.
No, the property will, if you try to buy the property, it will come to you easily.
Now,
Hmm.
we are
Now,
trying, but I don't have that much. We are trying for that only.
you're trying in your own land? I mean,
Yeah.
own place,
Father,
wherever you're.
my father's and grandfather's land is there.
Hmm.
That one we want to go and acquire that, but if not, it is easy. It is in court.
Yeah, that will be there. Because when the fourth house, whatever, because it was in your fourth house for you, most of the characteristic of the fourth house, you will really get a struggle to
Okay.
get.
Uh-huh.
That's why I asked about your mother-in-law. How? No, mother-in-law no comes.
No, there is no mother. Or before marriage only, she is not there.
Hmm.
She was not
Then
there.
about the land and any kind of the property which you try to acquire also, it will take lots and lots amount of the time to come back to you. And if you
Okay.
try to buy a property also, that will take some amount of time. That's what I understand. But let's
Okay.
see. But you were the owner of Rishaba is also looking, and the Mars is also looking. Mercury also. Oh, okay.
The chart is good only, actually.
Yeah, very much
So
good.
very much good. Then Jupiter in the own Rashi, Dhanu Rashi with Sun. And I think
But the
she may be.
Rahu was with
No,
it.
Rahu is good. Rahu goes with the placement of the other planet. If he is
Yes.
with the other planet, then it is good. Ketu, Jupiter is watching Ketu, so I think both are okay. Not so harmful.
Mars. Now I'm trying to see which are the planets looking the Lagna. Do you see anybody who is looking Lagna?
No,
Nobody.
nobody.
Yeah, I'm also thinking the same.
Maybe Saturn is looking at Lagna.
Just
No,
looking at
no,
ascendant.
Yeah.
no. 1, 2, 3 only.
No. Saturn is looking at the ascendant. 10th
Oh,
house.
10th house. Oh, okay. 7.
And Mars is also looking fourth.
No, Mars is, you'd have to go this way. 1, 2, 3,
No.
4.
Mars goes this way only. Why?
Oh, Ascendant was here. Correct only. Yeah, correct. One, I forgot. Correct. Ascendant. Oh, hmm. Saturn is also seeing, and the Mars is also seeing. Okay, let me see your Atma Karaka. Oh, Mercury. Oh, wow.
I did.
So she's probably running end of Jupiter Dasha right now, and she should be, Shani Dasha will come next, and she should be good in Shani Dasha.
Mercury Magadasha.
Really? Hasta, right? You said Hasta.
Yeah, Hasta Nakshatra.
Hasta is owner is Moon. No. Okay. Sorry, I missed.
Antardaksha. Oh, I don't waste. When I see the chart, I was going into somewhere. Okay, I come back here.
Chandra,
Yes,
Chandra is the nakshatra.
Moon was in the Kanya. Moon was in the 8th house. Correct?
Yeah.
7, 8th. 8th house, it was in the hidden house. And how usually how you think in a way, how is your mind will work? You feel like all the time you become energetic or enthusiastic or in a such a way that
Exactly.
just
100%.
hmm,
Oh,
and
thank
you definitely talk well.
Yeah. But I
Very
don't know
much.
English fluency.
Oh,
Fluency.
don't worry about the language. Whatever the language you
Yeah.
speak all the time, and somebody have to be ask you to stop at one moment. Is that yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Then somebody was sending me one more shot. Okay.
Yes, I've got Neelam's details.
Go ahead.
7th January.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Let me share.
Please send me that chart to my WhatsApp number.
I did, didn't I?
It's in
Thank
the
you.
Oh, I
group.
sent
It's
it
in the
in the
group.
group. I sent it in the group. Is Rupa right? Tell me what is the time?
Time is 4:50, 4:50
Sorry,
a.m.
sorry. Date first. Date first.
Date is 7th January
January
1953.
1953 450
4:50 a.m.
4:50 a.m.
and the
Correct.
place Karnal.
Ah, I remember this.
No, they cannot have Shani in Mesha or Rishaba. No, this chart cannot have. This cannot have Shani in Rishaba.
Second.
No, because
Okay. We became this much. Let's see her chart.
you tell
Mm.
Mm.
Ascendant Vrikshaka.
12th
Saturn
house
is
is
in the
Shani.
12th.
we were looking at Saturn in
Rishaba.
Rishaba. That's what I was telling. That was some other lady, I think, 74 born.
Oh.
That is, I think, me only, sir. That time you only told you are born 72. Jupiter and Sun is there only.
No,
think.
I asked the lady, I said, "Are you 50 years old?" And she said, "Hey, how did you know?" Everybody was kind of guessed, like, "How did you
Yeah,
know?"
me only. That one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we found the person then.
Okay.
Let's move on. Nice. Come here. Okay, got it.
You see, Saturn is slow moving planet. So wherever you are born, whenever it was there, 30 years later it will be there again, and 60 years later it will be there. So you can guess the age, basically.
Yeah. That's time I wondered how can we.
Okay, let's see about the Rishaba. And the special about the Rishaba is the Bhatakasthana as well as the Yoga Karaka is the Saturn. So for the Rishaba Lagna peoples, this thing goes exactly as it is. Bhatakasthana as well as the Yoga Karaka. Now considered the Rishaba becomes the second house. And in that the same Saturn was placed in it. Then it becomes exactly whatever which is listed here. If the what is it meaning? Then the peoples who having the Mesha Lagna, second house becomes the Rishaba, Saturn was placed in it. Then what is the second house? The main thing,
Dhana.
the Dhanasthana. Then what exactly they will behave like this? They was very much careful in their money handling. They are very clever in handling the money. They're very much good for the business. And now the story goes when the Saturn was in the third house. When the Saturn was in the third house. Sorry. My mind goes in somewhere.
Meena Lagna.
Meena Lagna. Then the third house is the Rishaba. Okay, here comes come to the communication. They are very much disciplined and they know what to speak, when to speak, and their words also come with very cautious. They won't be blabber like anything. They exactly say what they want to say. Sometimes because of their communication, it will lead them into the success. Okay, then goes into this fourth house, considered if it was in the Kumbha Lagna, then the Rishabha becomes the
Fourth.
fourth house. Okay, here comes the thing. The same quality comes. They know how to handle the money, but this exactly applicable to your mother. What is that? This is the Sukhasthana, right? Yes or no?
Happiness, comfort,
Mm.
peace, and
Exact.
education.
And also about your
Mother.
asset, your when you are land, and it's a movable asset or immovable asset, everything comes into the picture. And this exactly you have to apply this significance over when the Saturn was in your fourth house. The same thing goes on with the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth house significance. Then exactly place these characters on top over and find the Saturn in it. Okay, here is one tricky point here. Okay, now consider if the Saturn was retrograde as we see in this chart, the previous chart we saw, right? The Saturn is retrograde. Okay, when the Saturn was retrograde means the karmic influence was really high. Then whatever this Saturn is going to do, it will going to do in a double effect. If they are more cautious in the money matter means they become very frugal in nature. They very much cautious means they're double triple cautious in their money matter. Because of that, they comes with the struggle is also come along with it. Then they may not be disciplined. Here is the sometimes the twist here. We think the disciplined becomes over disciplined. No, it becomes down. They may not be disciplined. If okay, the worst case will come when the on your birth chart the Saturn is the retrograde. Okay, but when the dasha was coming, when the buddhi was coming, when your Shani dasha or Shani buddhi was coming, this behavior or this tendency will overcome and it will comes into the light very much easily. Consider you born on the different dasha. That time your character was not like this. You are not frugal in nature. You won't handle the money with the care. You spend the money lavishly, but still your Saturn was in the uh, Rishaba. But you are not like that. But when the Sunny Dasha was coming, when the Sunny Buddhi was coming, this tendency, this nature of the Saturn will come into the picture very, very easily. And you yourself and the people around you also detect that. Okay, then they will say you, last year you were not like that. This year, why are you like this? You are very much careful with your money. How come this possible? Because this tendency will come when the dasha or buddhi was on that period. Okay. Till now, any questions? Someone was asking. Can we move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought to finish 6 today, but I did only 2. Okay, we'll finish half with the Gemini, Mithuna, then we'll continue on the next week. Okay. Okay. If you feel I'm going very slow, tell me. We'll make it very fast. Okay.
No, it's interesting. I think
Don't
Okay,
make
now
it fast, please. Yeah.
that's awesome then. It comes into the Mithuna. I already over breach of time 6 minutes. Give me 4 more minutes. We'll be end within a half of this. Okay. Come into the 5 elements principle. Mithuna comes into the year. Then because of the airy nature, these people are always having the flowing mind. They flow like an air. Whatever, if they're holding the emotions, they won't hold the emotions for very long. If they're holding the grudge for very long time, for these people, they can't able to hold the grudge for very long time. Even though they have some kind of an anger in them, they have find a way. They know how to handle the anger and get away from them easily. They will find a way. One or the other way they will find. Then they throw away the anger from their emotional body. And comes into the air element and the dual in nature. They are not moving so fast. They are not sitting in the same place. There comes in the nature comes in between. They are not in a movable state. They are not in a fixed state. There comes in an in between state. And in the male nature, male energy. So that means what is that? Whatever the energy, whatever the significance it was there, that energy will be very much strong. Consider if the energy was very good. They are for this one, they are very, very systematic planners. If the male energy was in it, then that energy will be very strong. They are definitely very systematic in nature. The energy will be strong. Why I'm saying this male, giving preference to the male and female energy? Why? This is the kind of the willingness, willpower, which is emerged from any of the individual. If the Saturn was in the male energy, and the willpower which is emerged from you will be very strong. Considered if it is comes from the female energy, the willingness which is comes will be very soft. It's a kind of the energy level. Okay, now comes into who's the owner of the house? Mercury is the owner of the house. Okay, now the question: Mercury is the friend or enemy?
Friend.
Friend. So because of now the Saturn was sitting in a friend's house. Friend house, there was no exaltation, there is no debilitation. Mercury, we know about the Mercury's nature. Mercury will be very good in communication, good intelligent, and he's the young prince. Young prince means he didn't know about any kind of thing which is going to happen next. He want to acquire the knowledge. He want to talk about that knowledge. He want to spill about whatever the things which he or she learned, and he want to impress. He or she want to impress everyone. This is the nature of the Mercury. Now, this is the situation. This is the kind. Imagine this is the kind of the house. This is the kind of the palace, which is the kind of the zodiac, which is we are going to talk about. And this house, Sunny was residing in it. Okay, who's the Sunny? Then we will see that Sunny, which is placing in the Mithuna house. Based on the quality which we learned, and when the Sunny was in Sunny's energy coming and combined with the Mercury, we'll see it next week. Okay. Still now any doubt?
You mentioned they are exceptional in reasoning, systematic, logical, but in red you have put face difficulty in processing new information.
They'll definitely tell you that.
Okay.
Next week.
Sure.
For sure. Okay, the last line, the one thing. Okay. Yeah, I felt like I missed something at the end. Definitely, we will see that. You will understand why they face difficulty in processing new information. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much.
The curiosity, I will tell you the reason also. See, that there is a dual in nature. And they have their information, very much of the information comes into flow into them. Okay, imagine one thing. You have the number of ideas comes into you, and one point in time you have a nature of jumping into one into another. Consider this is one situation which is coming. You find one information, but in between you jump into another, and you jump into another, and you jump into another. The end of the day, they consider you are in the fifth process. You didn't have an idea about what is that you did in the starting. Because of their movable nature, they don't want to stay in at one place. They, even though if they are trying to do that also, their nature won't allow to them to do it. They want to wander one thing to another, one thing to another. The end of the day, they have the difficulty in processing the new information. We will see that definitely we'll see in detail in the next class.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, if there was no doubt, we'll close the session today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you all next week. Okay,
Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye.
bye.
Okay, right.